SuperShazzer, Sharon Atkins, coach, RMR keto coach at large. Thank you for joining me.
A pleasure. Yeah, lovely to be here, Jonno. Thank you. I so enjoy your other videos.
And now you're in the limelight. Sharon, tell me, before, I was going to ask you a whole bunch of questions about coaching, but before we get there, I actually forgot that you've had your own keto or banting transformation. Can you tell me, like, just like a snapshot of what that looked like?
Well, I think like most of us coaches, and even you, John, I think it's an ongoing journey. You know, we keep on learning, we keep on managing it. So yeah, about finding what works for us. So for me, it's about a 12 kg journey. So over the years, kind of weight, like everyone, fluctuates up and down, and pregnancy weight, and trying to get back to that. And I was right at the beginning when the book came out, your book, like many others, banting enthusiasts, like embracing it. And it's just now become my life, way of life. Over time, lost the 12 kgs, put a little bit back on, COVID, managed to get it off just because I applied the principles. So yeah, just keep on at it every day, those low carb choices, and it just becomes a way of life.
That's awesome. So, okay, you're a coach, right? And a large part of your job is getting people when they arrive, like at the front door. And so, you know, that people reach a certain point where they decide that actually they need coaching. What do you think that feeling, or like, how would someone know when they've reached that point? What is your experience of clients when they walk through the door? What state are they in?
Predominantly, you know, we've got women, men from all over the world, from 10 kgs to lose to 70 kgs and some more. People are finding it hard, like really hard. They don't know what to do. They need the support. Often, most of the time, got medical conditions from pre-diabetic to diabetic, inflammation. Their health is not great, and obviously weight loss. So they want to learn, they want to know what to do firstly. So practically, how do I do it? How do I do low carb? How do I do keto? I don't know where to start. Or they've done it before, they've put on the weight again, and then they want to get back to it, but they want to do it properly. So predominantly, like, yeah, just wanting to know more, and the support and the accountability, I think. Those are the main reasons.
And in your experience, what is the, I mean, this might sound like a pun, but it's really not meant to be, but what weight does a weight issue actually put on someone's life?
Oh, blimey. Sure. From everything to obviously health, the way it affects your health, your joints. You know, we start getting knee problems, and when you want to walk, you want to exercise, you're having all those inflammation problems, knee problems, just generally not sleeping well, stressed, anxiety. That all gets exasperated when we are at a heavier weight. So health, and then just the way we feel about ourselves. You know, that's kind of the weight that is there. It sits there. That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's your experience of that been? You know, when you get a client who thinks they're here to lose weight, but actually there's a whole lot more going on behind the scenes.
Jonno, that's just what I so love about RMR. It is so unique in the way that, because we all know it's not just about the food. So the amazing thing is that it's the practical side. So it's the food, it's what we eat, it's when, it's why. The right food. So we deal with that a lot. And then we also work on the mindset. So like, how do we get to this place? How do we prevent ourselves from going back there? So we work on kind of behaviors, patterns, habits, and that kind of journey of why we got to where we are, and how can we shift and change that to stay at our goal weight. So it's kind of twofold, which is what I love about it.
So you get this client who's obviously feeling low on self-confidence, etc. And obviously a physical experience of life is not good, you know, feeling bad. What is it, like, what do you think motivates people? Maybe not necessarily talking about the program, but just in general, what actually motivates people? What gets people to carry through or follow through to their goals, do you think?
Obviously, the biggest thing is to kind of see the weight shifting. So as soon as you see the weight start shifting, it drives you, oh, this is really working. I want to carry on doing that. So that's a kind of given, but it's also the other stuff. We call it the non-scale benefits. So people start feeling better. They're sleeping better. They feel better in themselves. The kind of brain fog lifts. They manage stress and anxiety better. What else motivates them? Just the fact that this is easy. It's not kind of, you don't feel like deprived. You don't get hungry. If you do it properly and you become adapted to this way of life with that combination of food and fats and protein that we guide you on, you shouldn't get hungry. You shouldn't have cravings. So that's the most exciting part of this. Yeah, to get to that point.
Can you think? Okay, well, so now I'm like getting lost in my audio here. So I want to, like, while you're on that note, you just look so excited, and I'm curious, like, are there? Like, it's so easy, and so I'm curious, like, are there some highlights? Are there some highlights that you have that you can think of offhand that you've had with clients lately, where you've seen that like light bulb go off, and a client's gone, oh my goodness, like, wow.
I mean, it is just, even with one client, it's an ongoing journey. So they might kind of be in that space of, wow, this is, wake up and I can manage to get to 10 o'clock without eating. I've kind of managed to do that. And then when I have that really good meal, it keeps me full and satisfied. So people are quite surprised. So that's that aha moment about, and I find if I don't have carbs. So I was just chatting to them recently, and they said they had treats from outside, and they had a bit of sugar, and they had this realization that every time they had sugar, they got hungry again, and they just wanted more sugar. And they had this realization themselves. So it is that kind of aha moment, and it's ongoing, like I said. So often we'll get we're not hungry with this way of eating, but then our emotional eating kind of steps in. And so that's part of the journey and the learning and that awareness. And that's what we work with you and we support you on, is that. So now I'm not hungry, but I feel like I want to eat. What is with that? So we kind of support you with that, take you through that, find option strategy. And of course, we offer those incredible Zooms from yourself, from our eating psychologist, Victoria, which all support you on that journey and give you tools, like practical tools on how to deal with that.
So tell us about the process that you follow. I mean, look, the process that the program runs on is obviously you get help from the dietitian, so the client would get their prescription, and then what we promote is you get a check-in with your coach every day on WhatsApp, but it doesn't really say what goes down in the WhatsApp. So you've got this client who's come in with low self-worth, a lot of physical conditions, and you now know that like they want to be in a better place, feeling good. What is the process that you follow, in the WhatsApp and in your Zoom sessions when you do the check-ins? What are maybe not the whole like step by step, but what are some of the main things that you do that create the change?
So obviously people would know that, but initially we meet and we get the prescription from the dietitian. So she provides us with the information that they need with regards to the food side of things and what they need to do, supplements and proteins and fats and the kind of real science behind the food. Then we look at where they are right now. Okay, where are you right now? We look at the stats. Obviously, we want to look at their stats, where they are physically, and then practically, and then we set some goals. So short-term goal. Over this period, what can we expect over this period? And kind of long-term, where do you want to be? And with those goals is kind of attached, not just physical goals, but what does that look like for you? We kind of imagine their future self in that, and we want to kind of grow into that. So where they are, where they want to be, goals, and then, and then what does the day look like? So what does your day look like? Kind of take me through your day currently. And then how can we shift that day to introduce this lifestyle, this low carb lifestyle? So practical steps on what they can do in their day. And that might be with a meal plan, obviously tracking, meeting your macros, practically what can we do? So that's our starting point. And then how we're going to be in this situation, how we're going to interact and engage. We definitely encourage regular engagement. And then we'll set processes in place. Okay, we know where we want to be. We know how we're going to do it. How are we going to get there? So that's that kind of process. So this, ideally, then the client will go away, and then I'm going to track to make sure that I reach my macros. Practical steps. I'm going to okay, so number one is about the food, to kind of get into that rhythm. So every day, ideally, we want to check in on that tracking. How's it going? How's that tracking going? Send me that screenshot of that tracker. Let's troubleshoot. Let's engage. And that just encourages them. Oh, blimey, I need to check in with Sharon. Let me make sure that I'm on track. Let me make sure I get that tracker done. So it's all about that accountability and that regular engagement and checking in.
And so one of the things that I think most people think they want and then they don't want is this accountability thing. And so I think there are two sides to accountability. And in fact, I did a video about this yesterday where we say like there are two types of motivation. The one, and there's like the sports coach motivator who's like, come on, you can do it. Like you go, you know, like pain is fear leaving the body kind of thing. And then there's the other side, which is like the compassionate, gentle approach. And I think a lot of people want someone to push them, but then they also feel really down when they don't get it right. And a lot of people find it difficult to remotivate themselves. So what do you do in the instance where you do have a client who was on a winning streak for say like 2 weeks and then the wheels come off at an event like a wedding or something? What's your approach in that instance?
I think, yeah, that comes with the skill of kind of having done this for a while and being able to read, being able to work with that individual, you know, without judgment, without kind of shaming anyone. This is where you are, you know, so it's kind of bringing them back to where they want to be. It's that reminder of their goal. Like, why did they start this? You know, and it's kind of resetting. So what this journey is, and I always said kind of where you are, where you want to be, and that's a journey on the way. So this journey is going to come up with obstacles, setbacks, roadblocks, challenges. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen after this as well. So the journey is in the kind of getting around that, getting through that. And there's always a path through. So it's about creating that path that is the learning. So there's going to be an obstacle. It might be an evening out, celebration, whatever it is, and that's going to happen. So it's kind of how do we immediately reset? How do we recalibrate, realign, have that flexibility to get straight back up on track, that straight back up on those stepping stones and just keep our eyes forward and moving forward. So it's that kind of reminder about where they want to be, that reminder that they've got the skills, they've got the knowledge, they know how to do it. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for next month. Let's just get straight back up on the next day. So that's kind of why we're there. It's just that reminder. And then the more they do that, the more that it becomes just a way of life. So that's what we're kind of trying to create here, is a way of life, a lifestyle, make it sustainable.
Well, sustainability is obviously super important. And I'm curious around the results that you have. I mean, obviously, so we obviously see, you know, the success you've had with clients. They're amazing. And I'm interested to hear like what you find fulfilling and if there are some highlights that you can talk about in terms of, you know, a client who did really well or what you get out of it, how it fulfills you, because obviously you're doing meaningful work. Tell us a bit about that.
Obviously results are great, you know, physical results, physical stats, and we get a lot of those, you know, from, I mean, it's incredible, people's journey. It's just wonderful to be part of their journey, so I
think people like want to know those results, like how many kilos, like someone watching this is going to be, so if I get a coach, like what am I in for? Is it a physical result, like I sleep better, or do I lose like 30 kilos?
Ultimately, for us, it's about weight loss, you know, which leads to health benefits, which leads to those other benefits. So predominantly, it's the weight. We want to shift the weight. So the weight is from a client recently who's lost 12 kgs in 3 months, he's now on another journey to lose another 10. A client over 6 months lost 35 kgs. Just every day, there's results from the work that we all do as a team. Every single day, people are losing weight and getting the results. And for me to be part of that is exciting, is challenging, because it brings stuff up all the time. You've got to deal with people's lives and issues and families and stress, and people are going through so much. So it's kind of to support them on the way without telling them what to do. What I love about this program is it's practical. You can learn stuff, you can read stuff, you can go on a program, you can give books, but this program is the doing. It's the applying it. We actually, every day we apply that. And we're here to guide you through that. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And so, well, I'd love to wrap it up now. And I'm curious, I've actually never asked you this before, but what are your sort of 5 or top tips that you would give someone who's embarking on a health transformation journey?
Oh, okay. Everyone got their pens out.
I've literally got my pen. I'm like waiting.
Put it in your next book.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. I actually wrote it down. Okay. So number 1, you've taken the time and the investment, the money, the time. You want to make the most of this journey. Now you've kind of started the program. You're with a coach. Make the most of it. Invest that time. Do what needs to be done. Let's just make the most of it. Embrace it. Just throw yourself into it. So that's number 1 when you are doing this. Number 2, the food is just vital. It's important. The food, the meals that you eat, but also the mindset. So you want shifts to take place. You want to change and adjust your beliefs about yourself and about food. So combine that, the food and the journey on the mindset journey. So combine those two, and the transformation that can happen. Find ways, organized. We want to get organized, and I speak for myself. We want to get organized. So now we've embraced ourselves. We want to get organized. We want to manage, clear out all the old food. We want to stock up. We want to create a plan for ourselves. We want a meal plan. We want to maybe stock up on really good food. So it's about getting organized and structured. Like how does your day look like? What does the food look like? Your meals, the planning. Especially if you've got a family, you need to do that. Number 4, track your meals. So we talk about tracking your meals, and that can be on an app. There's quite a few apps. We're looking at Fat Secret. There's another. So the only way, how are you going to know what you're eating and what that looks like if you don't track your meals? So tracking your meals will be putting on the food and drinks that you're having in your day. Let's see what that looks like. How else can we be accountable and troubleshoot together? Track your meals for a few weeks, a few months if necessary. And number 5, this is a journey, like I said. So you want to kind of get an idea of what works for you. It's that kind of, we are an experiment of one. So it's like along the way, you want to, this works for me. Or I know I will never, ever be able to have gluten again. Like you, Jonno. Like I just can't do sugar in any form. Alcohol doesn't work for me. It's those kind of non-negotiables and what's going to work for me. I can get to 10 o'clock and I can have an egg and a good meal, and that's going to keep me going till 3 o'clock, where I might have a light snack. So it's that kind of experiment of one, what works for you. Take note of that, because that's what's going to make it sustainable for you.
Everybody is a study of one. Yeah, it's hard to explain that. I love that, by the way, the 5 tips. So I got them, just tell me if I'm right. So I said, make the most of it. All in. I love that. All in. Go all in. Burn the boats, as they said, as Cortez did. Do you know that story? I don't want to change the subject.
No, you've shared it. You've shared it.
So and the food and mindset need to combine. So as much effort you put into learning the food, you have to put into the mind. Then get organized. Your calendar, your bank balance, your everything needs to align around this transformation. Track your meals, simple and effective, and then understand that you're a study of one. I think that's really important. And my addition to that is that a lot of people will look at a diet and they'll say that diet doesn't work for me. You know, it's the set of rules that don't work. And actually the diet that works is the way of eating that your body likes the most, you know. And so a lot of people get put off by a whole set of rules, but they don't understand that, like, actually there is. So instead of being like, this diet doesn't work, it's more like that the foods that I ate didn't work, and, you know, I need to tweak what I'm eating to actually make it work. So what you'll find is that, like, any diet is never a one size fits all for everyone. But the reason some diets work and some don't is because certain ingredients don't agree with us and will agree with others. Like you just said earlier, like I don't eat gluten, and if I eat gluten, I get fat straight away, and my body just hates it. But then there are people who do low carb and still eat gluten, and they lose weight. And I just look at them, I'm like, I wish I had that, because I'd love to smash gluten and still, lose weight.
And they are. I mean, if wheat does that for me, you know, wheat in any form. And there are some people that are dairy intolerant, and they just can't tolerate dairy, and that doesn't work for them. They put on weight if they have that. So in this journey, we're going to find that out, and we also start to understand hunger. You know, kind of hunger. Like, is this real hunger? You know, so you get to recognize that as well about yourself. So that's all part of the journey.
Yeah, I didn't ask you about troubleshooting. Have you got a few more minutes left to talk? How do you troubleshoot? You know, because you mentioned, you know, some people, dairy doesn't agree with them, gluten doesn't agree with them. And troubleshooting, obviously, that's a big part of that's actually one of the added benefits of working with a coach, as opposed to working, you know, freestyling it on your own.
Oh, blimey. That's the part I love, is that kind of, as Sam says, getting curious, investigating. So it's kind of, you know, if someone is plateauing, so we look at, ideally, we want our graph to kind of, which way is that, shifting down, you know, kind of our weight, our waist, all those stats. And if someone plateaus, and that is normal, it's normal to plateau, it's normal to go up and down. But if it's happening for a while, you're plateauing, you're putting on weight, you're still following the principles. So okay, let's look at your day. Firstly, ideally, we want to look at their tracker. Like, what is happening? Is your protein too high? Are you having too many fats? You know, because it's a healthy fat diet. We don't want to overdo on the fat. So we look at that. What are they having? When are they having it? You look at dairy. Are you having too much dairy? Nuts can kind of add on. We look at carb creep. Is the carb slowly kind of adding on over time? That's what they call it, carb creep. What else? Medication. Sometimes medication kind of can throw people out and make them plateau. So yeah, that's the cool part, is asking those questions. We've got some amazing documentation and tools that we can use for that as well. That are on the RR program. Yeah. So that's just a few things we're trying to uncover. Yeah. That's great. What the coach does.
So SuperShazzer, it is like so great having you as one of our coaches.
Thank you.
I can't say you're the best because we've got other coaches, but we love you very much. And it's great to have you talk openly about some of the processes you follow. So if you're watching this and you're sick of not losing weight and you want someone to help you along the way, Sharon is here to help, among many other coaches on the Real Meal team. Sharon, thank you for joining us. And if you'd like to find out more, check the comments, because old Wendy's posted the details. Otherwise, give us a call. Our number will be somewhere around here. Otherwise, have a good day. Keep it real. Stay healthy. We'll see you later. Bye.